What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video and you're watching Game Nation 4K. And guess what? In this video we are looking at the evolution of the game Street Fighter from 1987 to 2023. And let's begin. So the game you're watching right now is the Street Fighter 1987, which is an arcade game developed by Capcom. It is the first competitive fighting game produced by the company and the first installment in the Street Fighter series. It was a commercial success in arcades and introduced special attacks and some of that conventions made standard in later fighting games, such as the 6-button controls. This one is the Street Fighter 2010 from 1990s. The Final Fight. This was developed and published by Capcom again for the NES in 1990. It was marketed as a science fiction themed spin-off to the 1987 arcade game Street Fighter. All localizations of Street Fighter 2010 are a different genre from the traditional Street Fighter games. This one is the Street Fighter 2nd, 1991, which is the World Warrior, originally released for arcades in 1991. Street Fighter 2 improved many of the concepts introduced in the first game, including the use of special command-based moves, a combo system, and a wider selection of playable characters, each with a unique fighting style. This one is the Street Fighter II Champion Edition, 1992. The main changes are the addition of the 4 Grandmasters as playable characters in mirror matches. The fighting techniques of the 8 main characters from the original game were further balanced in competitive play. As you can see, the game has pretty much the same nature. This one is the Street Fighter II Hyper Fighting from 1992. Now, this Turbo introduced a faster playing speed and new special moves for certain characters, as well as further refinement to the character balance. And again, the basic nature of the game stays the same with just a few enhancements that might not be visible visually. This is the Super Street Fighter II from 1993. It refines and balances the existing character roster from the previous versions and introduces 4 new characters. It is the first game on Capcom's CP System 2 hardware with more sophisticated graphics and audio over the original CP System 2 hardware used in previous versions of Street Fighter 2. This one is the Super Street Fighter II Turbo from 1994. Super Turbo introduced several new gameplay mechanics not present in previous versions of Street Fighter Tekken, including the addition of combination moves called Super Combos and Air Combos. It also introduced the secret character Akuma, who would go on to become a recurring character in later Street Fighter games. And the next one is Street Fighter Alpha from 1995. The game introduces several new features expanding on the Super Combo system previously featured in Super Street Fighter II Turbo, with graphics drawn in a similar art style to the one Capcom employed in Darkstalkers, including characters from Street Fighter and Final Fight. This one is the Street Fighter the movie from 1995. The game is based on the 1994 live-action Street Fighter movie, itself based on the Street Fighter series of fighting games, and uses digitized images of films cast as the characters, which is insane, amazing, and engaging, which attracted a lot of players as well. This one is the Street Fighter Alpha 2 from 1996. The game features a number of improvements over the original, such as new attacks, stages, endings, and gameplay features. The main new feature in the game is the conclusion of the custom combo system, which replaces the chain combos from the first Alpha. This one is the Street Fighter EX from 1996. It is a 2D head-to-head fighting game with 3D graphics originally released for arcade in 1996. Unlike in the Street Fighter Alpha titles, the EX series features a super meter with 3 separate sections, not levels, which is unique to this spin-off game series. This one is the X-Men vs. Street Fighter 1996, which is a crossover fighting game published by Capcom and is the first installment in Marvel vs. Capcom series. As the title suggests, the game includes characters from Marvel's X-Men franchise and the cast from Capcom's Street Fighter series. This is the Street Fighter III from 1997. The game, which was designed as a direct sequel to Street Fighter II, initially discarded every previous character except for Ryu and Ken, hence the new generation subtitle, introducing an all-new roster led by Alex. Likewise, a new antagonist named Gil took over M. Bison's role from the previous games as the new boss character. This one is Street Fighter EX Plus from 1997. A few months after the original version of the Street Fighter EX was released, an upgraded version titled Street Fighter EX Plus. In this version, all of the hidden time release characters are available by default, which is one of the major improvements in this game and one of the major attractions as well. Now, this one is Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter from 1997. And a sequel to X-Men vs. Street Fighter, the game replaces most of the X-Men cast from the previous installment with characters from other Marvel properties. In addition, it introduces a new gameplay mechanic known as the Variable Assist, which was a new feature to all of the players and was a major attraction as well. This is the Street Fighter III Second Impact from 1997. Second Impact introduced new gameplay mechanics, new characters, and new special moves. The game also brings back bonus rounds not seen in the series since Super Street Fighter II, and that is something different to talk about, but as far as the game is concerned, it was amazing. This one is the Street Fighter EX2 from 1998, and it retains all of the features from the previous game. Street Fighter EX Plus, the primary new feature in the game, are Excel combos, which means a lot of beating coming up in the game, and that is hilarious considering that some players are equipped with some great combos. And this one is the Street Fighter Alpha 3 from 1998, released as a Street Fighter 03 in Japan in 1998. Alpha 3 further expanded the playable fighter roster and added new features such as selectable fighting styles called isms, added an exclusive World Tour mod, and brought back even more characters. Now this one is the Street Fighter Third Strike from 1999. Third Strike increased the character roster by adding 5 new characters, notably including Chun-Li. It also added further refinements to the previous gameplay's mechanics and rules. This one is the Street Fighter EX2 Plus from 1995. An enhanced version of the Street Fighter EX2 was released in arcades in 1999. EX2 Plus all retains all of the characters from the original version, with Hi-Hat becoming a secret character while Nanez acts as a regular character. EX2 Plus features meteoric combos. The next one is Street Fighter EX3 from 2000. The core gameplay is essentially the same as previous installments, however, Street Fighter EX3 features tag battles similar to Tekken Tag Tournament, allowing players to switch between characters and offering greater combination possibilities, which is amazing and great as well as it's attracting and intriguing. This one is Hyper Street Fighter II, the Anniversary Edition from 2003. Now, Hyper Street Fighter 2 is a modified port of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, in which players can control any versions of the main characters from the 5 Street Fighter 2 game previously released for the arcades, and this is what this game is all about, and the major improvements. This one is the Street Fighter Alpha Anthology 2006, which is a 2006 fighting game compilation that collects the Street Fighter Alpha series, including Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter Alpha 2, and Street Fighter Alpha 3. And that's all about this game, and on that note, we will end this game's description and move on to the next one, and that is Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max from 2006. It is the PlayStation portable version of the Street Fighter Alpha 3, released in 2006, and there we go, we just made a transition to PlayStation portable version, from the previous versions coming down as a sequel. Now, there's just not more to it about it, so let's move on to the Street Fighter 4 2008, which basically is an arcade version released in 2008, while the console version was released in 2009. While Street Fighter 4 features fighters and backgrounds rendered in 3D, the gameplay remains on a traditional 2D plane. Focus attacks and ultra combos are introduced in this game. The next one is Super Street Fighter 4 from 2010, an update of Street Fighter 4. It features additional characters and character tweaks based on community feedback. It also features an improved online mod, an update of Street Fighter 4. It was released as a standalone game for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 in 2010, which means good graphics. The next one is the Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition from 2010. Now, this version of the game aims at bringing the improvements from the arcade version of Super Street Fighter 4 to home systems, besides numerous balance changes. Also introduces returning characters Yoon, Yang, and Evil Ryu, and the newcomer Ani. And there's all that's it to it. And let's move on to the next game version, and that is the Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition 2011. Now, it is a handheld port of the Super Street Fighter 4 released for the Nintendo 3DS in 2011. The gameplay of 3D Edition is nearly identical to the console versions, which is amazing and incredible. Now, going to the next one is the Street Fighter X Tekken from 2012. This is the first official crossover of Tekken with the Street Fighter franchise. The game is a 2D fighter like Street Fighter since Capcom was the developer. The game was set to have a sequel entitled Tekken X Street Fighter, but it was officially stalled. And given the name Street Fighter X Tekken, which is, as I said, the first official crossover of the two games, with Capcom being the developer. And this one is the Street Fighter X Mega Man from 2012, a true collaboration between Capcom and its fans for Mega Man's and Street Fighter's 25th anniversary. Street Fighter X Mega Man. As in most Mega Man games, the game offers 8 levels to choose from, and so the nature never changes of any game. And this one is the Ultra Street Fighter 4 from 2014, and the new gameplay mechanics have been included with the Ultra Combo, Double, Red Focus Attack, and Delayed Standing. In addition to new gameplay mechanics, there are new mods available for use, elimination and online training, and players are able to upload their online matches directly to YouTube. That means a lot of streaming and gaming coming with this version was the best part. Now, this one, finally moving from the 4th to the 5th, this one is Street Fighter 5 2016, which is the 6th main installment in the Street Fighter series. It was released exclusively on the PlayStation 4 and PC, on which cross-platform multiplayer is available. The overall gameplay was toned down from Street Fighter 4. Attack animations appear slower, and the character art and modes are redesigned to feel more realistic. Now, going on to the next one is the Ultra Street Fighter II, the Final Challengers 2017. Now, released for Switch in 2017, the game features 2 graphical styles, classic pixel art and updated high-definition art. New gameplay mechanics and mods were also introduced. Now this one is Street Fighter V Arcade Edition from 2018. It is a free update for those who already own the original version, and it features all the original playable characters, including the 12 DLC fighters, an arcade mod which was absent in the original installment, new mods such as the Extra Battle mod, selectable Wii triggers, as well as new visuals to the game's design, which means fun on its way. Now, this one that you're seeing on your screen is the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection from 2018. It is a bundle of 12 Street Fighter games first announced at Capcom Cup at the 2017 PlayStation Experience event. It celebrates the series' 30th anniversary as the title suggests. It was released for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Windows on May 2018, which was a great way to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the game. Now, Street Fighter V Champion Edition 2020. It is the second major updated version of Street Fighter V after Arcade Edition. New features include a second Wii skill and Gil and Seth as returning playable characters. Champion Edition includes all content from both the original release and Arcade Edition. And moving on to the next one would be Street Fighter V Champion Edition All Characters Pack. Now, let's move on to it. Enough of this one. So, going on to that one, like I just mentioned the name, it is a game from 2021. The Champion Edition All-Character Pack comes with all characters that were previously obtainable through Seasons Passes, as well as some extra content. It also comes with 200 costumes and 23 stages. For those interested in this extra content for Street Fighter V, the All-Character Pack is sure to satisfy your requirements, desires, and cravings for this amazing game and gameplay that it offers, which is just amazingly great. So, that's all there is to it about this game. Moving on to the Street Fighter VI, the next game in the iconic series, will release in 2023. It has realistic 3-dimensional graphics than the previous Street Fighter games. Each character in the game's roster all have their own vocal theme song for them in Street Fighter VI, as well as alternate character colors and costumes. 2 new mods will be available alongside World Tour, an immersive single-player story experience and Battle Hub, which will further expand the scope of player communication and engagement. Your moment, your fight. And this is what is all about the Street Fighter VI, a game that is yet to come in 2023. So I hope you enjoyed watching the evolution of the game Street Fighter from 1987 to 2023. And if you did, consider subscribing to our channel, click the bell icon to stay tuned, and save us by the bell. Like I just said, click the bell icon, and do smash the thumbs up button. See you next time, peace out.